Alright, today we will be doing grade 8, Algebra 1, section 3.1, and is representing relations. And the learning target, there are three of them. The first one is represent relations, interpret graphs of relations, choose and interpret appropriate scales for the axis and origins of graphs. All right, so let's get started. All right, so relation basically, when you have x and y, basically you are saying that they have a relation. All right, that you're trying to figure out if there's any relation between x and y. And further along, not right now, you would then need to determine the difference between relation and a function. Okay, but not in 3.1. So that is relation. And when we have x and y, right, we have different names for it. We can also call x as domain. We can also call x as independent variable. As for y, right, there's another name for it. You can call it range. You can call it dependent variable. Okay, so it's just different names, but they all refer to the same thing. Now, what does mapping is? Basically, we'll go through in a bit. All right. So basically, um, when you put down domain and range or x and y, you can put down like there are three coordinates here. Okay, three coordinates. The first one is 3, 5. The second one is -4, -2, and then the last one is 0, 2. So we can see this is x. Okay, 3 -4, 0, and then 3 is 2, 5. -4 is 2, -2. 0 is 2, 2. So when we are doing this graph, this is a mapping graph. And do we use it a lot? Mainly just for illustrative purposes. Illustrative purposes. We don't really use it a lot for we use mapping as a way to explain it, but when we are solving it, we don't really um this is we don't really use mapping. Okay? And when we have this mapping graph, we could also transfer into different kind of um, formats to present the same thing. For example, we can do a table. We can set a table to be x and y. You can see here, okay? We don't write domain. We do not write domain. We write x, okay? So basically, they just different names. So 3 is to 5, negative is 2, negative 2, and 0 is to 2. Or we can do graph. Okay, you can see this one is -1, -2, -3, -4. -4. Basically, this is -4, -2. Okay, so it refers back to this point. All right. And you can also represent in terms of equations. So we can choose one coordinate which is 0, 2. So when x is 0, we can put that into this equation. Y equal x plus 2. Y equals 0 plus 2, and that is y equal 2. So it means that it refers to this point. Okay, so it's just different kind of format, but they all refer to the same thing. All right. Now, the next one. So we can actually like do this. We have full coordinate 2, 0, 2, 0, and then 0, 4, 3, negative 5, negative 3, negative 5. And of course, we can actually like convert this coordinate to a graph. So we can do 1, 2, 3, or 4. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. Let me rearrange it so that it looks a bit better. One, uh, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, and 4. So the first one is 2, 0. 2, 0 is here. 0, 4, 0, and 4. 3 and negative 5. 3 and negative 5. Negative 3, negative 5 is here. Okay, so that is essentially how I convert this into the graph. Now, 2 is to 0, 0 is to 4, 3 is to negative 5, negative 3 is to negative 5. All right, so you can see here, and then we bracket into domain and range. You can say for domain is 2, 0, 3, negative 3. From the smallest to the largest is negative 3, 0, 2, and 3. And we would do this bracket as a domain. All right, so domain equal domain. Of course, I'm doing the wrong way. Okay, this should be the wrong way. So domain should be on the left, the bracket and number should be on the right. And then range. Um, you can see here is from the smallest is negative 5 and negative 5 again and 0 and 4. And because these two are replicate, so we can take one away. Okay, and essentially that's how we do it. Now that is basically how you interchange in between. Okay, the next one basically example 1, example 3. Now we also have one coordinate 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so you can see the coordinate for x is 5, negative 36, 25, 38, negative 10, and 1. So you need to pick the smallest, which is in this case negative 36. negative 36. And the largest basically would be 38. All right. And let's go for the same thing, same approach for y coordinate. The smallest, so we have for y coordinate, we have 80, 48, negative 91, 95, negative 50, and 22. So this would be the smallest, and this would be the largest. So negative 91 and 94. All right. So it, um, typically we would, for the x value, when you are plotting a graph, right? You need to include slightly to the left and slightly to the right. So this means that slightly larger will be 40 and slightly to the left as to negative 36 will be negative 40. So this one will be 100 and this one will be negative. I would say just to balance out negative 100. If you put down as negative 95, it works the same way. All right. But for me, I would put down negative 100 just so to make it balance. All right. So a scale, we don't normally use scale. I typically will use interval. All right. So it means that um, when you try to make a plot of a graph, right? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Uh, for me, when we have 7 intervals for 40, it doesn't make a lot of sense. So I will reduce to 5 intervals only. Okay, so each interval for x will be 40 divided by 5 equal 8. Okay, so let's get started. Of this interval equal 100. So each interval is 100 divided by 10. So each segment is 10.
So I got 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. And we divide that by the same. Minus 20, minus 40, 60, 80, minus 100. Now all we really need to do is translate this point, 5 and 80. So
5 and 80, it will be somewhere around here. Negative 36 will be somewhere here. Negative, no, 48 would be, so negative 36 and 48 will be here. All right. So scale essentially means interval. Okay, it means the distance for one segment. Okay. Um. So for example 5, we can just do it quickly. All right. So the average number of posts per day on a social media site each year is given in the table. Interpret the meaning of axis scale, and origin. Okay, so um, on the x, on the x, it basically means um, the year after 2008. All right. So when we have one, it means the first one means 2008 plus one. Okay, and so on and so forth. Y would be the average post per day in million. Okay, in million. It's X and Y. The scale, the scale for the scale for X is basically 1. The scale for Y will be 50 millions. Okay, for each scale. All right. And the origin. Okay, the origin means the 00 of origin represent the year 2008 and 0 post in million per day. Okay, all right, that would be it. Thank you very much for watching.